In this video, we're going to show how you can test the features with a demo HL7 Plus client installation. Now, before you begin, we're assuming that you've created a demo installation in the HL7 Plus Management Console and installed and activated the HL7 Plus Client Console on the client server. So we're going to check that right now. I'm logged into my management console on my computer. If I go to my installations, go to the demo accounts, I have two demo installations out there right now. They were both activated at this. We're going to take a look at the Harper Valley PT Clinic. I know that it's been activated because it's showing up here. If it hadn't been activated, it would be showing up in unassigned. So now I'm going to pretend like I'm going to switch to another computer and work on the client console. It's actually all on the same computer. And voila, here I am on the client server. I start up my HL7 Plus client console. I can see that I am in a demo mode for this installation. You see it's the Harper Valley PT Clinic. You can see the features that I've elected to use at this installation. And what I want to do next, if I look at my steps, optionally, I can create desktop shortcuts for the features I'm using. Now this is easy to do. In the Tools menu, you can create desktop shortcuts for any of the HL7 Plus applications. You can see that I've already done that here. Just as an example, I'll delete this one for the HL7 Plus Notepad and go into the Tools menu and create a desktop shortcut for the HL7 Plus Notepad. And done. It created it right here, and we're back where we started from. Step 0, really, step 1 is done. Now we open the desired features. I can do this now by either clicking this configure button to open it up, or now that I've created desktop shortcuts, I can just double click them to open up the different programs. Now here I have, this is the HL7 Plus TCP/IP listener. Now remember, I'm only supposed to be using 2 of them. I've created 3 profiles. So I can, if I enable this third one, it won't let me run. It'll tell me I have too many out there because we've only purchased or are trying out 2 inbound profiles. Now in this one, I've set up 2 listener profiles, one to receive on port 8000 and one to receive on port 9000. The data folders that it's going to write the HL7 messages into are here and here. Okay. Now I've also set up the UltraPort database engine, and I've created a database called HL7 Plus DB1, and I have created a SQL schema that goes into that database, and I have created an inbound processor to bring messages into that schema, and it's going to be picking HL7 files up from this folder. And if you remember, this folder is the same one where this listener is going to put them. So that's how the messages are going to get there. Now this video is not an in-depth discussion on how to use, and configure all of these features. There will be separate videos for each one of those as well. We're just showing it running, all of it. So here, and now I've also configured my UltraPort router, or my HL7 Plus router, to send to this IP address, port 8000. It's going to pick messages up from this folder, outbox 1. Now, the trick is that this folder, or this IP address, is actually my own IP address. I'm doing everything within this computer. So it's actually going to send to this listener. And when we're ready, we'll start all these up running. Now, while you're in demo mode, you cannot install the Microsoft Windows services for your HL7 Plus features. It's part of the demo mode restrictions. If I click on Install Windows Services, it'll tell me I can't install or run the Windows services. With all the features to test them, you have to run them locally. That means you run it in an immediate window, and when you run it in an immediate window, it will only run for a short period of time, 5 or 10 minutes, and then it's going to stop. So I say I want to run my listener profiles locally. It asks me which ones I want to run. I'm sure I'll run both of them. And it tells me I'm operating with a demo license, which has restricted functionality, and it'll tell me when that they're going to stop processing. The immediate window comes up. I'm going to start my listeners. They're running. I'm going to move this around a little bit just so we've got room for some other stuff. And now here's my UltraPort router. Same thing. I'm going to go to the Windows service status. I'm going to say run these locally. Again, it'll tell me I can only use this for 10 minutes. And I'm going to start this. So this is now running. And finally, my SQL schema engine, I go to the service status. If I try to install the Windows services, it tells me I don't have the right subscription yet. It's a demo. So I'm going to run locally. It pulls it up. I want to run my inbound processor. I start that, and it is now running. And nothing is happening yet because there's no HL7 message traffic flowing through. Let's put this up here. Here's our listener that's running. Here's our schema engine that's running. Now, to make all this actually start working, I have to put some messages in this folder so that our router will send to our listener, and then our schema engine will pick that up. Now I'm going to do that by using our handy dandy HL7 Plus Notepad. I have 339 HL7 messages loaded from a file. There are different kinds, ADT messages, ORU messages. I'm going to export those. I say I want to export all of these messages to a folder, which means it's going to create 339 files. Go choose that folder, which is C, HL7 messages, HL7 plus, outbox 1. And as soon as I do this, there I'm going to say yes, and everything has already started. This is our router has already sent 49, 83. Our listener has received them. Our schema engine is importing them. Now, even though you only get 5 or 10 minutes of runtime on this, you can do several thousands of HL7 messages for testing during that time easily. So our router has finished sending them. Our listener has received them all. The only thing that's lagging behind is the schema engine, which actually has to load them into the database. And it's now completed. I can now go to my listener monitor, which is up. If I check this, it'll tell me, oh look, there were 339 items retrieved, so I can see that going. For my second listener, it hasn't received anything today because I'm not sending anything to it. I can go to my schema browser, which I have open. Oh, these are utilities you open from right within the program. I can browse that database that I set up. I can execute this. There are 339 messages. It'll show you the message types. There's some ADT AO8s. Let's just pull up a report, and I can actually see the data that is in there. Here's what's in my PID segment table. Again, you can refer to the online help for all of these, and we have completed all of this. To get to the online help for anything is you just look at your client console, and there's buttons for each one. If I want the online help for the listener, I can get to it right from here. You can also click on the help buttons in the HL7 Plus listener as well. Our next step on this would be to make the demo installation live so that we could actually use some of the Windows services, so that this goes away and we can install the Windows services and use the installation fully as a production service. But that is it. That will be in a future video. We're done for now. Thank you for watching.